Guys, today we're going to jump in with a pretty exciting farm that you can do inside of Destiny 2 right now. This one's in the Hollowed Lair Strike, and it allows you to farm the boss over and over again, giving you an absolute ton of chances at the Mindbender's Ambition exclusive shotgun. But on top of this, exotic catalysts, prime engrams, general drops, strike tokens, exotics, and pretty much anything that you can need. You can farm it inside of one of this week's Nightfalls at an incredible rate. So I'm going to break it down for you guys in this video. You can also run this solo relatively easily. Of course, soloing in Nightfall is always going to be somewhat difficult, but with the right modifiers and the right setup in here, it is as easy as it's ever going to be, so I'll talk about that as well. If you do enjoy it or find it useful, a rating below is very much appreciated. But now, let's jump straight into it. So guys, like I said, we've got a pretty crazy farm right here. Absolutely the fastest way to obtain any Strike exclusive loot. But before we talk any more about it, I have to give a huge shout out to Cal Plays on YouTube, who actually found this. So I believe him and a couple of friends discovered this, and he posted a video about it just yesterday. I'll link that one down below because Cal was the first person to actually post this farm. Of course, for this Nightfall, we have the Mindbender's Ambition. This is a really good shotgun, especially in PvP content, but of course it's a very unique weapon as well. And you're going to have chances at this drop like you've never had them for any Strike exclusive in D2, but also you can farm over 300 tokens an hour, prime engrams, catalysts, other exotics, and drops. And I'll give a few tips for this in just a moment, but in case you want the real basics of it, all you need to do is basically run through this week's Hollowed Lair Strike in the Nightfall version. Then when you get to the final boss, you work on the boss as you normally would, but basically, when the boss dies and the chest spawns, just as that chest opens, if the last living player on your team dies, it will actually wipe the encounter as the loot spawns out of the chest, meaning when you respawn, you've got the encounter there to actually do again, but all of your loot is going to be on the floor. And with a team of 3, it literally takes about 3 minutes to complete this boss encounter, so every 3 minutes, you'd essentially be completing a run of the Nightfall for a chance of all those exclusives and drops we just mentioned. Now, something I should mention about this is that basically what you're going to want to do is have a designated player actually be the last person standing, and of course this means that it's much easier for them to get the chest to spawn and then to actually wipe without any delay, because of course if you mess this up you will be going back to the beginning of the strike. But honestly, it's very easy to do. You can do it with a rocket launcher, you can do it with grenades if you have the right modifiers, but obviously if you want to run this with a team, it's going to be super easy. I had 3 Mindbender's Ambition drops. Most of my rolls were pretty poor, but on top of this I did get the catalyst for the Prometheus lens and a prime engram. My teammates also got prime engram drops. Firebolt on our team got the curated roll of the Mindbender's Ambition, and Dankum got a couple of drops. One of them was pretty godly right here. We'll talk more about that weapon very briefly in a moment, but we should mention modifiers and some things to take note of. So us running this as a full team, we actually ran 3 Sunbreakers. We were using Hallowfire Heart, and that was with the middle tree Sunbreaker. With the exception of me, I was just running a normal Sunbreaker. But if you hold on to those supers, and then you run Grenadier as well as Solar Burn, you're going to get grenades at an insane rate. You could essentially just do this entire encounter with grenades. But if you're running with a team, you can run any modifiers that you really want to. Of course, you don't need to make it difficult. Mostly just run the beneficial modifiers, because the main point of this farm is just to kill that boss over and over again very quickly. You can do this encounter solo pretty easily, and in terms of a solo Nightfall run as well as a solo Nightfall farm, this is literally as easy as you'll ever get it. Basically, my teammates went off to do something, and so I said, I'm going to try and solo just this final encounter. And basically, I was able to run around the encounter just throwing grenades at the waves of ads, using grenades to do damage to the boss because we've got Grenadier and Solar Burn. So they're doing a lot of damage, as well as charging incredibly quickly. So if you run a setup like this, you could, maybe go in with a team if your teammates leave and it's just you left, or if you just wanted to run an entire solo Nightfall to farm this. At 600 power, honestly, this is as easy as it will ever be. That doesn't mean it's a complete joke and you'll just walk through it, but if soloing it, and the opportunity to be able to do it solo is something that you're concerned about, then this is a really good opportunity. You could also run modifiers like Brawler with Blade Barrage on the middle tree. This would be for a hunter, and then use a ton of throwing knives to get you through this. Another option would be Lucky Raspberry on an Arc Hunter, and you'd be getting those Arc Grenades back just, all the time. And you could do nearly the same thing. Or Grenadier with Void Burn, then go on a Void Warlock with Nezarec Sin and Telesto, and you can run pretty much any perks that you wanted to here. Those would be 3 classes that I think would probably solo this in a similar way to what I've done just there very, very easily. Whether you're running with a team or solo though, something else you'll definitely want to do is try and run Vanguard Scanner Ghost Shells as well as XP Ghost Shells. If you've got a Ghost which has both of those bonuses, then that is fantastic. Otherwise, definitely try and run at least one of them. You get more XP for your Engrams, of course it is Festival of the Lost as well. Or you could use Vanguard Scanner, and that'll get you a bunch of tokens. I got up to around about 900 tokens. I started out with around about 600, so in an hour that's, roughly 300 tokens. And you can do better than that with bonuses as well. Should mention though, things like Vanguard boons or any other boon for the strike, they won't actually trigger when you're farming like this, so just a heads up not to waste any of those. But you can also rock the exclusive emblem for this Nightfall. If you've scored over 100k, you can use that to actually get more tokens once again. So guys, like I said, this is a really potent farm. Definitely the best strike farm we've seen in D2, and purely because you can get so many tokens, so many drops of strike exclusives, you're more or less guaranteed to get a drop if you do this for an hour. If you were to do this for, 2 hours and didn't get a drop, I would consider you to be incredibly, incredibly unlucky. So if Mindbender's Ambition is a weapon that you want, especially if you want a god roll of it, you want to be running this particular method in the Nightfall this week. So guys, there we go. That is going to summarize the video right here. In terms of good bonuses on Mindbender's Ambition, the curated roll is really nice. If you could get full choke with accurized rounds or assault mag in the next slot opening shot. And then you've got things like Snapshot and Slide Shot there as well, which are okay. And then in the final column, Quick Draw, Rampage or Moving Target. It's an absolute monster in the Crucible, so don't miss out on it. But if you've enjoyed the video, a like is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more Destiny content. But for now, I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll catch you very soon.